All right, picture this. You open your glove box, you sift through your filing cabinet, you frantically check that one random drawer in the kitchen where literally everything ends up, and nothing. The panic starts to set in. You've lost your car title. Whether it accidentally got thrown away, damaged beyond all recognition, or just vanished into thin air during a move, dealing with the DMV is usually the absolute last thing anyone wants to do. But hey, don't worry, you are in exactly the right place. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to entirely demystify the process of replacing a lost car title in the state of Oregon. We're going to transform what feels like a giant bureaucratic mountain into a simple, step-by-step stroll.
Now, before we get into the how, we really need to talk about the why. You might be sitting there thinking, look, I know I own my car. Why does a piece of paper matter so much right now? Well, under Oregon Revised Statute 803.065, the state takes this document incredibly seriously. Trying to cut corners, or worse, submitting a false application for a title replacement is actually a Class A misdemeanor. We are talking about potential penalties here that include up to a $6,250 fine and possibly even jail time. So doing this correctly the first time isn't just about saving yourself a headache, it is an absolute legal necessity.
So the crucial starting point is understanding what a title actually is in the eyes of the law. In Oregon, a vehicle title is established by statute as prima facie evidence of ownership. Basically, that's just a fancy legal way of saying it is the ultimate, universally accepted proof that the vehicle belongs to you, and it records any security interests, like if a bank still holds a lien on it. Without this physical piece of paper, you are completely locked out of selling your car, transferring ownership to a family member, or even properly registering it. It's the master key to your vehicle.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll be going over the missing title crisis, preparation and prerequisites, completing Form 735-515, submission and processing times, fees and payment options, and finally, pro tips and final thoughts.
All right, Part 1, Preparation and Prerequisites. So the Oregon DMV enforces a really strict administrative hierarchy regarding who can actually apply for a replacement title. You absolutely must be the current registered owner on record or a recognized legal representative, like an executor. If a bank or a lender is listed as the highest priority security interest holder, well, they actually have the legal standing to request the title, not you, unless you have a notarized lien release from them proving the car is paid off. So before you do anything else, gather that notarized release if it applies to you, locate your full vehicle identification number, or VIN, and make sure you've got your valid identification ready to go. Moving right along to Part 2, completing Form 735-515. Let's walk through the exact steps using a real-world example here. Say you're John Doe. Line 1 requires your vehicle information. That's your present Oregon plate number, the year, the make, and the complete VIN. Lines 3 through 5 require John's owner details. Now listen up, because this is absolutely critical. Your full legal name, your ID number, and your address must exactly match what the DMV currently has in their database. Seriously, if John moved and didn't update his address, or if he uses a nickname on the form, his application is going to get bounced right back. Finally, you have to sign and date the certification section, attesting under penalty of law that the original title really is genuinely lost, destroyed, or mutilated. Oh, and here's a highly specific detail that is so easy to miss. If your vehicle is a model year 2010 or older, you must make absolutely sure you check the tiny box labeled Replacement Oregon Title right there in the certification section. Missing a small checkbox like this is exactly the kind of minor oversight that results in a rejected application showing up in your mailbox weeks later.
Okay, Part 3, Submission and Processing Times.
So you have two primary options here, and spoiler alert, a fully online process isn't one of them for replacing a lost title. You can mail your application directly to the DMV headquarters at 1905 Lana Ave NE in Salem. Obviously, this is super convenient, right? You don't have to leave the couch. However, if you compare that to submitting in person at a local DMV field office, there is a massive benefit to actually going in. When you submit in person, the DMV staff reviews your paperwork right there at the counter. They'll catch a missing signature, a typo in the VIN, or an incorrect fee calculation instantly. If you mail it and make an error, you aren't going to know until that rejected package shows up weeks later.
And speaking of weeks, if you do decide to mail in your application, or if your replacement involves any sort of standard title transfer, like removing a lien holder or updating an ownership change, you really need to prepare yourself for a 4 to 6 week wait. That is the bold standard processing time the Oregon DMV operates on for pretty much anything requiring manual review.
But here is some fantastic news that might actually surprise you. If your request is a simple duplicate, meaning absolutely nothing is changing, there are no new owners, no liens being added or removed, and your form exactly matches the DMV's identical database record, the system fast-tracks it. For these simple replacements, the high-security printing queue actually turns it around in just 1 week.
Next up, Part 4, Fees and Payment Options. Now, what's really interesting about this is,
Unlike some states that just have a cheap, flat fee for a duplicate title, Oregon charges the exact same fee for a replacement title as they do for a brand new standard title, and that fee is heavily dependent on your vehicle's fuel efficiency, or MPG rating. A gas guzzler getting 0 to 19 MPG will cost you $101. As the MPG goes up, so does the fee, with 40-plus MPG vehicles costing $116. And if you are driving a fully electric vehicle, the replacement title fee jumps all the way up to $192. So you really need to verify your vehicle's bracket before you start writing out that check.
And speaking of checks, let's break down exactly how you can pay them. If you're applying by mail, you have to use a check or money order made payable exactly to Oregon DMV. Please, whatever you do, do not send cash in the mail. They absolutely will not accept it. If you go in person, you get a lot more flexibility. Cash, check, and usually debit or credit cards are accepted, though it's always a really smart move to call your specific location ahead of time just to confirm their card systems are actually up and running.
And finally, Part 5, Pro Tips and Final Thoughts.
Let's rapid fire through the most frequent, critical mistakes so you know exactly what to double-check. If you want to avoid adding an extra month to your wait time, watch out for these. Number 1, simply forgetting to sign and date the application. Happens all the time. Number 2, transposing a number in your VIN or incorrectly guessing your exact vehicle trim level. And number 3, applying to remove a bank from your title but forgetting to actually attach the original, physically notarized lien release document they sent you.
Actually, let me share a really vital tip for a specific but honestly pretty common scenario. If you're trying to replace and transfer a title for a vehicle that you've inherited from a deceased owner, the standard forms just won't cut it. You will need to familiarize yourself with Form 516, which is the inheritance affidavit. The state absolutely requires this to prove the right of survivorship and to lawfully transfer the estate's property.
Now, a quick reminder. While we've gone deep into the source materials to give you a highly detailed and accurate roadmap today, everybody's situation has its own unique variables. Please take personal responsibility and verify the specifics of your unique case directly with official Oregon DMV resources. And of course, consult a legal expert if you're dealing with really complex estate or lien holder issues.
So there you have it. You now understand the legal stakes. You know exactly which form to use, you know how crucial it is to match that database line by line, and you even know how your car's MPG dictates your fees. So I have one final question for you. Now that you have the complete roadmap, are you ready to conquer the Oregon DMV without all the stress? Grab a pen, double-check that VIN, and go get your title back. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.